third budget now is what we call the main one for people, and that is the wedding day budget, the things that go into the wedding day. That involves a lot of things, yes, food and decorations and all those, we know those kind of things. The good thing with the wedding day one, people can help. And if you've noticed, the reason why we began with the other two is people normally will not help you with now we need food in our house, so can you
come and help us?
But they can help you for your wedding day issues. They can come in and chip in. Somebody can say, I'll give you 10 crates of soda, something like that. So people will chip in, and that's one of the blessings we have as Kenyans and Africans. The wedding day is actually for the people, for the community. The other things are for you. So that day they can contribute to it and make it a wonderful thing. One of the unique things about our wedding day thing, the budget was, most of the people who contributed were young people, Youth for Christ, young people. Somebody could buy, I want to buy 1 packet of salt, and they feel they've done something major. So by doing that, young people who most of the time people think these ones they don't have anything to contribute. That way we were able to raise actually the money that we needed for the wedding day.
And I find generally that in the tea parties that we've had, that it is the younger generation that show up, the people in their 35 and below, much below, up to even maybe 18. But the kind of money that is raised there, I don't think there's been any tea party that we've raised less than 20,000 shillings. And it's to do a small affair, but up to 50,000 or 70. So the people that you would overlook, God uses those people. So don't overlook anyone, neither look to a particular person saying, when I'm getting married, I know this person will support this. But before you move on, I want to throw a spanner into the works. There are people who say they will not support weddings.
Okay. So you don't have to force people. And I think the
idea, I'd like to address the whole idea of, should we actually support weddings financially?
Perfect. I think the best example is always Jesus Christ. He should have said no to those people wanting him to add into a wedding that already is finished. Basically, it was done by that time. But he went out of his box. Actually, it was not his time. He made it very clear that it's not my time to do these kind of things. I went out of his way to provide for something that
it's not essential. It's not even essential. If it was food that was missing.
The wine actually was very essential during that time. Because that was the happiness of the bash and everything that went with it was dependent on do we have wine? And even you can see how the wine aspect is used in the Bible. So I think that kind of thing. And then the good thing is this: God has given you, most of the time it's not your money, you are a conduit to someone, to help someone. Just pray and ask God, what should I do concerning this wedding? Don't have a prejudged idea about a particular person or a particular... We are coming to the place where people are saying, these people should organize themselves. Why are they asking for money from us? Should have planned well. But most of the time I found also that the people who are talking that way, they themselves needed help when they were getting married. So they are being hypocritical in that sense. If you are helped in your wedding, you should pass it on. It's simple as that. If you didn't get any help, for sure, then don't help anyone.
But also for me, why I would support weddings is, in the Christian community, like you said, in the Old Testament, there were many celebrations. But when we think about the church now, there are very few community involving celebrations where we are coming together for the... So weddings is one of the things that remain where we can all together do something to celebrate. It's once off a few congregations here and there who will have maybe a Thanksgiving Day or an end year party, but generally we have very few celebrations that involve friends and strangers alike, because in the average Kenyan wedding, I will come to the wedding and I will come with a friend whom you do not know.
So I think it's clear in that sense, and you've made a good point. We don't have many celebrations as Kenyans and as Christians in this generation. If we throw away again weddings, what are we? Birthday parties? Those are very...
But even a birthday party, we don't contribute. It's one person who's host.
So we should be like God, willing to give, always giving. And if God is that kind of God, then we should emulate him without finding grudge. It's just, if somebody asks for you, that's what the Bible says. If anyone asks anything from you and you're able to do it, you do it. and you do it cheerfully as unto the Lord, not as unto that person. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you remember where you were, but back to the wedding budget.
Okay. So we want to see what the wedding is actually. What is the wedding, first of all? Because if you don't know what it is, then we'll be shooting in the dark. First of all, the wedding is actually when you're prayed for. That's when you're being dedicated before God. That your union is now being acknowledged before God that it's a union. So that is the wedding.
Yes.
And everything else is about making that ceremony colorful. That part. So and then government also requires that you sign a certificate. So that is also additional to that one. But without even the government one, before God you're married if you're prayed for and you're dedicated before God. And then if God provides for your wedding, you make sure that you pimp that ceremony as much as you can. So begin with the mind that the wedding day is there. The wedding is there because it doesn't require much. Just consult your pastor, have him pray for you, and then you're dedicated before God and you have a wedding, you have a marriage. Then the good thing is that God provides for that kind of thing. He likes to see his children happy and being, it blesses God's heart, and we can see it from Christ. So we have to, whatever money God gives, you pimp the wedding. Whatever God gives you, pimp the wedding as much as you can without being extravagant and without going beyond your budget. Those are the guidelines that should guide the couple. That yes, we have the ceremony. Whether what comes, you don't have money. You don't need to have a lot of money to do that wedding ceremony. That, if it's understood well, will eliminate the pressure of making it look like someone else's wedding. And the bad thing is that we copy each other so much that we've come to think the British, what is it, Elizabethan wedding. That is the wedding. Victorian wedding.
Yes.
It's not equal to Christian wedding. It has very many things that we can borrow, but let's not forget that that is not equivalent to a Christian wedding. Then the budget that goes into that, have ideas of what you want to have in that ceremony, and the number of people you expect, that kind of thing. And then one thing also the couple may forget, that it's not just their day, it's not their wedding. It involves the parents on both sides, family basically on both sides, and they have a lot of say. Most of the parents actually are very happy when their children come to them and tell them that we want to wed the right way in church before God. So they get excited, but they may not show it. But they'll tell everyone in the village, everyone among their workmates, that, my son is getting married, my daughter is getting married. And that means that they are also looking forward to the day, and they have a say in how it will look like, because it's also making a statement about who they are. And most of the parents will go extra mile to make their day beautiful for their children. So include when you're thinking about the budgets, think about the parents as well. Present to them the ideas, and we have most of the parents are very good. They'll want to share in contributing to that wedding. Maybe a caveat is for, especially here in Africa, you should be a bit soft on the man. Sometimes the lady's family want a lot from the man's side, so that he's the one even who's told to pay for their fare coming to the wedding. The idea should be that if you're taking any money from the young man, you're taking it from the couple's future. So if you love your daughter, be good with the man. And he is not going away, he'll be helping you after that. I'm very blessed to have a very good family that helped me a lot. I was not sacrificed for anything. I thank God for that.
I think we'll talk a bit more about the lady's family and finances when we talk about visits. Then we can talk about dowry and things like that.
So maybe the other, what we may miss that is not covered in the wedding budget and the honeymoon and the life after the wedding is the aspect of the personal effects of the couple. So things like your suits, gown, those kind of things also. They have a separate kind of budget, because you cannot come to a wedding committee and tell them that, I want you guys to buy from me a suit. So those also fall into the couple's budget, the ones that they have to take care of by themselves. So I think also knowing what you need ahead of time, and I heard you mention earlier that you need to plan ahead of time.
Yes.
But there are things that you can buy way ahead of time when they are not also, when it's not the season for them. So like now buying shoes in this season when it's nearing Christmas, they have to be expensive in that sense. So you have to think about those things early, plan for them, buy what you can. That will remove every pressure that you may be accumulating.
Yeah, and on that note of seasons, you don't have to have a wedding in April, August, December, and generally we can see that trend is changing. And what it does is it helps to lower your budget, because if you have a wedding, for example, in February or end January, that's off peak for most service providers, so their prices tend to be less than you would get in peak seasons like April, August, and December. And then you're also more assured of the kind of service you will get because you're the only person they are focusing on. So maybe what I can say is the budget that you're breaking down, you have walked around, you've gone to service providers, and they've given you what your wedding, the things you've presented to them in terms of the size of your wedding, how many guests you'll be having. So the decor person will tell you chairs, tents, flowers, this is how much it will cost you. Then now you can break that down to present to your committee or those who will be supporting you. But do go around, don't just get your cousin, your second cousin's auntie's uncle tells you, oh, by the way, I do decor, and say, hey, fine, come do mine. No, please see what the service provider does. If possible, especially with food, go to another wedding where they're catering, taste the food for yourself. If it's cake, if they offer cake tasting, do so. Then now you can decide between service for providers and what they are providing. Don't also just go to one person because you know them. Shop around for the service providers and do this early so that you can budget appropriately, so that you can change where change needs to be made. Okay. And
then also don't pay everything.
Yes,
especially concerning the service providers. You have to withhold some money so that when they finished what they promised they'll do, and it's also good to have a contract with them. That now at the end, that's when you're going to sit down with them. Not even you, if you've done good groundwork, there should be somebody in the committee who will help you with following up. Did these people, did they do what they said they'll do? And then if they did, then you pay them what the balance that will be pending. And then also for the whole thing of doing weddings during the peak seasons, I think now that is dying, and then it doesn't have to be on a Saturday.
On a Saturday, yes. We've gone to beautiful weddings on a Thursday.
Yes, on Fridays, So it's good. Every day is the Lord's day, and you can do anything on that day. Yeah. I think then that should be.
Yeah, that should be about it. The budgets. Then maybe just a small thing. If you are a service provider, I beg you, by the mercies of God, just offer a good service. Sometimes most weddings are ruined because the food is late, the food is cold, the photographer, I love you, Naomi, did not come on time, and that sort of thing, or the photos, the lighting was poor. But a wedding is something that happens once, so put your whole heart into it towards making it a good day. And I thank God for the service providers we had. They did a wonderful job. The Lord bless you. So I think that's all for now on budgeting. If we forgotten anything, we will add it into the videos that we will be doing. Towards the end, we mentioned committees, so we will have a video on how to build your committee if you're going the committee way. Thank you so much for watching, and we pray that you'll be joining us in consecutive videos and that they will be a blessing to you. And remember, keep Christ at the center. He will give you the wisdom and the ideas for this process. Thank you so much, Mr. Osara, for joining us. And yes, do subscribe to our channel.
Down here.
Do like our videos.
I've seen somebody do that.
Okay, fine. Somewhere down here, you should be able to subscribe and like our videos. Also, down here will be our social media pages, so you can join us in the conversation there. And for our magazine, which is online at www.rubiesmagazine.co.ke. There's also a blog there. We love you. God bless you. Bye-bye.
See you.